Hi, we're Owen, Lynn, and Maggie of Van Trekking Lifestyle, and we're glad you stopped by. We're on a little journey to find warmer weather down here in Florida in our little bitty Winnebago Revel.
This week, we continue our stay at Tomoka State Park.
We ride into Ormond Beach with new friends on our e-bikes.
Owen cooks up a delicious chicken Marsala meal without Marsala wine.
And if you stick around until the end, we'll answer one question we get a lot, and we'll share our thoughts about Tomoka State Park. But for now, let's start out on a little fishing trip out on the Halifax and Tomoka River. We're glad you're here. There goes my pup. Wait a minute, Maggie. Wait a minute, Maggie. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, Maggie. Maggie, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Stay there. Stay there. Let me get this thing loose. Snook. Okay. Off it goes. Yeah, but I can get her right here. You dingbat pup. Whoa, don't be shaking too much. Okay. We caught a fish, Maggie.
Are you on the fishing boat, Maggie?
Yay, Mama. Daddy caught a fish. The water's cold, Mama. Water's cold. Tail's going, whoa, you better come down here a little bit. that was a wonderful, wonderful day. Time to go check into our next campsite here at Tomoka. Did you have a good time?
I did have a good time with you. Did you have a good time?
Yeah.
Caught a fish?
Caught fish, saw a manatee. Yeah. Maggie jumped in the water a couple of times.
Yeah, she got a bath.
I'm a little bit. I need to take me a nap. I'm tired. Daddy made me swim while he was reeling in a fish. We're a little bundled up this morning here in sunny but not so warm Florida. It's 54 degrees this morning when we woke up, so it's not terrible, but it's not like it's been the last few days. Hard to complain though, isn't it?
It is. We're not complaining.
Yeah. It was snowing at our home back in North Carolina last night, so sunshine, hard to beat this.
Trying to plan our day.
What are we going to do?
I don't know. Maybe ride bikes.
Maybe ride bikes into Ormond Beach and see what's over there. It's only supposed to get up to another degree warmer than it is right now all day. 55 is the high.
Wow.
Wah. I know that's what you're thinking, right? Wah. 55 degrees. It's cold as a mother where I am. I know. It's probably warmer at some places. It's been a really good trip for us so far. We've met a lot of friends that watch us on YouTube. And David and Juanita wanted to come over last night, but we had a monsoon rain come through, and so it kind of rained out our get-together of sitting around the campfire. But maybe we'll get some time with them today. It really makes us both smile, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. You want to go for a walk?
All I said was we need to figure out what to do, and Maggie says, it's time for me
No, you
to go
clapped your
for...
hands.
Oh, I clapped my hands, okay.
Clap your hands.
No, Maggie. I don't want to get you run over and get the air let out of you. Where'd you go? There you are. Oh, my hair. Almost every Florida state campground that you come to is going to look a lot like this. There are just lots of palm trees. Most of them are going to be sandy like this, and if you come to Florida to be in the sand, that's okay. It does get all over everything, and you have to wage a constant war to keep the inside of your RV clean. But it's one of these great places to come, and I know you guys probably get tired of us showing it all the time, but to be honest, it's a place that is dear to our hearts, and we're going to come here a lot. So I guess if you don't like Florida stuff, you can just press on that little skip button and that'll be okay. But we love it. We think you will too if you like the kind of things that we do. It's not all going into Miami and going out to clubs and everything else. It's such a rustic, beautiful, beautiful, natural state that it just fits us, and we just give in. We love it. So last year we were at the same bench, and I asked Lynn, what would it be like? Would it be different if we had e-bikes? And her smart aleck, she was actually being honest, her smart aleck remark was, I don't know, I've never had e-bikes. So would this ride be different if we had e-bikes?
I'm sure it would.
Not as much exercise?
Not as much exercise.
You like this better?
I don't know. I've never had the other, so I don't know if I like it better or not. But I do like getting exercise. So
this year, we're here on this same trail. So how is it with e-bikes?
It's not.
We have an audience over here of friends that are following us, so they're watching us tape. But how is it with e-bikes?
It's not a lot different, actually, because it's not a very hard trail. This is the Tomoka Trail, and it's pretty flat. It's through the woods, but it's really, really nice. It's a lot easier.
Yesterday's 19 miles.
It helped a lot.
It makes a difference with that, doesn't it?
It does make a difference.
Are you glad we got the e-bikes?
Yeah, I am glad we got the e-bikes.
Me
They're
too.
awesome.
All right, let's continue on.
Let's introduce our friends.
Okay, at a safe distance, we're going to introduce you to two new friends who have been watching our channel for quite a while. You guys are?
David Still and my wife Juanita Still.
All right.
And we have a B class too, and so we love watching Owen and Lynn, and we do the same thing. We just follow them around like a bunch of groupies.
Your reaction when you saw that we were there was it was so priceless. It made us smile. But look at these e-bikes they have. They're heavy duty bikes that they can take off road, and man.
What kind are they?
I-zips. I-zips.
Awesome. They look pretty good.
Yeah. We're happy to be spending the afternoon with them, and we'll head on down this trail and see where we end up. I think we're going to Ormond Beach to find a place to sit outside and eat.
Yes, sir.
You said something about chicken?
Rose Villa.
All right.
Best chicken in Ormond Beach.
David and Juanita said that we need to come here because this lady won the cupcake awards, or cake awards with her cupcakes. So we're going to go in here and see how this is. Holy crap, this smells delicious. Wow. Ben was saying that my face mask looks really goofy when we're riding.
Oh, you got that.
Gosh, it's cold, isn't it?
It is. It feels cold.
Goofy's what I'm going for. Warm's what I'm going for. Hi guys, another Griddle Me This meal. This time it's going to be creamy balsamic mushroom Marsala chicken made on the induction cooktop. Couple teaspoons of olive oil on the bottom of the pan. Let that get hot. Just do a simple salt and pepper on the chicken and drop it in the flour on both sides. Make a mess with that. And we're going to drop it in the oil. Repeat the process. And into the skillet. So now the chicken is just about brown. We're going to make a little pocket here. And we're going to add 1 tablespoon of butter. And we're going to let that brown. I'm going to hand that to my sweetheart. And let that butter brown around the chicken as it cooks. Man, that smells good. Man, wow, that looks good. We're taking the chicken off. and put a little more olive oil down, and we're going to add in some mushrooms. And we're just going to let those cook down for about 5 to 8 minutes. We're going to add in 1 teaspoon of butter as well. And these mushrooms are going to pick up all that flavor from that chicken. Put the lid on, wait about 5 more minutes, and keep going. So Lynn and I were just talking that this is a pretty difficult, complex campsite meal. It may be the most complex meal we've made at a campsite. And I'm really glad that I did it on the induction cooktop instead of over the fire, because it lets me control the temperature a little more. Right now, if you want to see, we're just waiting on the mushrooms to brown up and kind of turn golden, and they're getting there. We're going to let them simmer for a few more minutes, add a few more ingredients. So the mushrooms are cooked down to where they're golden. We're going to add another tablespoon of butter. We're going to add in some green onions or shallots and 2 tablespoons of thyme. And we're going to put a little salt and pepper in here. Somebody recently said I don't measure anything, and I don't really. It's just salt and pepper to taste. Some garlic calls for 3 cloves of garlic. So we're going to cut that in half since we're using this minced stuff. And we're going to go with about that much. And then we need something to heat it up a little, which are crushed red pepper flakes. We need, I don't know, about that much. Calls for half of a teaspoon. And we're going to incorporate all that together. And we'll let that cook for another 2 minutes. Okay, let's check on this. Wow, the smell, guys, the smell. Holy mackerel. Complicated meal, but well worth it. Everything's kind of incorporated together, looking good. Now we're going to put in 3 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar. 1, 2, 3. That's about enough. I'm not going to go too big on that because Lynn doesn't like vinegar that much. I pity our neighbors. They're having to smell this. Okay, let's check on this. Whoa, look at that. Man, that looks good. It looks good. It looks good. Now, you're going to take half of this mixture out and put it on a plate to later be added to the chicken. But we're not going to add it yet. Add in about 1 cup of chicken broth. And this calls for, as you would guess, Marsala wine, but ours is at home. We like beer better than wine anyway, so we're going to substitute some beer. This is 2 nights in a row we cooked with beer. Just a little bit. Man, that smells so good. Wow. And we cover, let it come to a boil again. This is reduced down quite a bit. Now we're going to add 3/4 of a cup of heavy whipping cream. And this will burn, so we're going to stir this in. Maggie's pretty excited about the chicken over here.
Smelling good, isn't it, Maggie?
We're going to cover that and let it cook for 2 or 3 more minutes, and then it'll be time to put the chicken in. Okay, so now we're going to add back in the chicken. It's kind of hot. All right, we're going to cover and let that simmer. Okay, let's plate this up now and see how this goes. There's some angel hair pasta in the bottom of this. There's some of this hot sauce on top. Add in just a little of those mushrooms that you saved from the last time. All right, let's see how this looks. More like Michelob Ultra Marsala chicken instead of Marsala chicken, but man, it's awesome. Those mushrooms and that sauce, man. We'll get this off the induction cooktop and we'll sit down and eat. We hope you've enjoyed this little adventure in cooking in the rain. Well, the rain forced us inside and we didn't even know it was supposed to rain today. It's a good thing we chose to cook on the induction cooktop instead of over the fire, because I believe that would have put my fire out. It would have killed the temperature and it would have been hard to cook out there in the rain. But as it went, we were able to cook here underneath the awning. We ate in the room for a little bit until it really started coming down hard. And now we've moved inside. We're just going to hunker down and eat in here. And this was a good meal. It's a complicated meal to make, and I'm sure I screwed it up in 100 ways. But it tastes like chicken Marsala if you leave off the Marsala wine. We're not sure how we didn't bring that. We both checked it off the list. I don't know. But it still turned out good, and we're glad you guys are part of this adventure with us. And we're really glad that you like watching us cook and you like watching an old man do a happy dance. That's what it's all about, guys. When you cook, just do your happy dance. It's better than eating dirt. I almost guarantee you that. Till next time.
Wow, that chicken Marsala meal was awesome. I'm sure it would have been a lot better with Marsala wine, but
it would have tasted a little different. But we need to make sure we bring the right ingredients. We actually went through a checklist this last time that we both had, and we left the Marsala wine in the refrigerator back at home. So we're not going to tackle a bunch of questions this week in the Q&A section. In fact, we're just going to answer one, but it's one that many of you ask us a lot. Especially Becky in Iowa. Are you not afraid of the alligators? They scare me to death. Well, do they scare you?
Well, yes, they scare me, but we are very aware of our surroundings because of snakes and alligators in Florida. And we try to keep Maggie just as protected as we keep ourselves.
But let me give you some history. We spent the winters in St. Petersburg, Florida for 6 years on the Long Bayou. And I went fishing almost every day. Even when it rained, I went fishing. And Maggie went with me a lot. And as you can tell, she'll jump off the kayak into the water anytime she thinks I've caught a fish. In those 6 years of fishing on the bayou, even though we know there are alligators there, we've never seen one. So, if you're going to go in the water from the southern part of the coast of North Carolina all the way down to Key West, you're going to be swimming or kayaking with alligators. They're just there, aren't they? But I'm scared.
I don't know.
but unless you're stealthy and you're really looking for them, you're not going to see them. They're afraid of noise. They won't come rolling out at your kayak because they hear all the noise and attack you. That's not what's going to happen. They try to ambush their prey. So you may have heard there was a child that was attacked by an alligator at Disney World, and that's true. What will happen is they'll try to ambush small prey along the bank. So they'll lay in really dark water or murky water, and they'll lay there, and when something comes by that looks like it could be a meal, they'll hop out really quickly and they'll grab that and they'll take it under. But we don't resemble a small animal. Maggie does, and we do need to be careful about that.
But we don't take Maggie in little coves where alligators could be. We only take Maggie where we think it's, safe and in bigger waters.
Right.
Where we could see an alligator.
That
really
doesn't
close.
mean that we won't ever encounter an alligator. And that doesn't mean that I won't have brown pants when I do. But in all these years we've been doing this, we've never seen an alligator when we were out in the water like this, fishing or doing something else. When we go looking for them, we see them because we know where to go and look. But we don't put ourselves in that situation when we're just out to have a good time. Hope that answers the question, and I hope I didn't scare my bride so much that she doesn't want to go back out in the water. So, Tomoka State Park, why do we love it here so much?
I think the main thing is because it's surrounded with all the things that we love to do in nature.
Like what we just talked about. There's water all the way around this little peninsula, and there's a major river, and you can go half a mile and be on the beach.
Right. And, there's lots of hikes and bike trails and good things for us to do with Maggie.
And the sites here. It's an old Florida campground that has sandy campsites, but there's lots of privacy, and it's a really neat setting to be in, isn't it?
It is. Within the park, there are also beautiful sunsets that you can walk to every evening.
And you have the Tomoka Outpost. It's very rare that any national park or state park, especially the state parks in Florida, have some type of store inside of them that's awesome. I mean, they may have some place that you can buy toilet paper or maybe some kind of supplies, but they very rarely have all the things that Scott and Ashley have at the Tomoka Outpost. That's a real jewel to have in this campground.
Right, and they have boat rentals and
kayak rentals. Scott takes folks out on a pontoon boat ride to be able to show them an insider's view of the Tomoka area.
We love the Ormond Beach area. for the beaches and for shell hunting.
And starfish.
And starfish, yeah. I found the starfish there.
And we found a great place to get chicken. We found great places to get seafood. And this time, we found an awesome place to get cupcakes, which, by the way, we showed you that. We didn't talk about it afterwards. Those things were remarkable. Maybe we'll stop by there when we drive back through. Nah.
Are we driving back through?
We have to get home.
That's right. That's true. That's true. We do.
So it sounds like we're raving and raving and raving about Tomoka State Park. And the truth is, we are. But anything you don't particularly like or don't like as much about the state park?
Well, it's hard to say negatives about a place that you like so good. But we did notice this year, because of COVID, they have taken all the trash cans at the rest areas away, so you have to walk a little bit further to take the trash out, which is not a big deal, but
you always want to get exercise anyway.
That's right.
But if it's raining, it does present a little bit of a problem.
If you come to the northern part of Florida, the weather can be a little iffy. As you can see in this video, we had some warm days and we had some cooler days, and you have to pack accordingly.
So even though we were able to book many nights here during this trip, we found that this park is usually really busy for two reasons. It's a campground that's really close to Daytona. So, Biker Week in March, forget about it. It is booked solid and it is a loud party area, and you might want to stay away from here during that time. And then the Daytona 500. Lots of places to stay around there, but this place fills up completely during the 2 weeks that surround the Daytona 500 and the races even before that. Just be aware of that. Something this pretty means people are going to want to stay here. People want to stay here means it's going to be more difficult to get in. But we've always been able to come here during this time of year, during January to February, the 1st of February, and book many days at a time, even if, as long as we're willing to switch up sites during the stay.
And I will say that this time it was totally booked up too, and we had, we said that we had to change sites quite a bit, and to me it never really felt crowded.
No, it didn't at all. So we noticed as we were staying at our very first site that the site across from us had a really bad angle. This road that goes around the campground is a one-way road, and some of the entrances to at least maybe 3 or 4 of the sites, they're at the wrong angle, so it's difficult for people to get in and out of, and we experienced that when we tried to go to our second site and had to move to a different one. So just be aware of that. It's not really a negative, and if you're just in your van, heck, it's going to be easy for you to do. But if your wife convinces you to take a trailer with you, it's going to be more difficult, and you'll have to say I'm sorry for
for a few choice words.
But just be aware.
We don't feel like any of these things would make us not want to come here, but we just wanted to make you aware of some of the things that we kind of felt was odd or...
Yeah, it's just an old Florida style campground, so just be aware of that. If you're expecting palm trees right next to your site and a little bitty paved up fire pit and your own little patio, you're not going to get that. Go further south and pay $200 a night and you will. But what you will get are neighbors you can't really see most of the time, and you'll get palm trees all around you, and you'll get sand in your site and sand in your van. But you're gonna
a lot of sand in the van.
Those aren't really negatives. If we counted up all the positives and weighed them as to what's important to us compared to all the things we said that are kind of things we wish were a little different, it's no contest. And we've been here so many times that it's crazy to think that we even mention any negatives at all.
I know, but just want to make you aware. Join us next week as we continue our journey to warmer weather, where we actually head north next week.
We'll tell you about that. But until then, stay healthy and stay safe and stay hungry for adventure. And as Maggie would say, happy tails. Thanks for being part of our journey. VTL.
I'm not saying because you're going to say Gravy Titty.
Don't be messing with me.
VTL.